Hey y'all, it's Quincy Wilder. Tapping the show again on my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, comment below. I'll be touching on different topics on basketball, AAU basketball, coaching, and today I just want to talk about the athlete, right? And the parents when it comes to like AAU basketball. The one of the and I get, like I said, I get questions all the time, and I think there's just a way for me to kind of let you guys know what goes into the process, and I'll tap into a little bit of coaching as well. What goes into the process as far as like game planning. As a first of all, as a parent, now we have too many parents involved. Like some of you parents think you can coach and you can't. Let's just like if you didn't play, even if you played and you were weak, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's my channel, I can say what I want, right? If you just weren't good, and then all of a sudden in 2025, you wanna try to tell, somebody that was filthy, like how to do this and do that, like, or that's like somebody telling me how to score basketball, and you were weak in high school, you know what I'm saying, in junior high and just all throughout, right? So let's just get that out the way. Like if you were weak, man, just sit down. You know what I'm saying? If they don't talk about you, you know what I'm saying, and on the block, or because for real, it's the people, right? It's the people that tell it. People be like, "Were you the best player ever playing high school?" I'll tell them, man, listen, you got to ask around, because I don't need, to tell everybody that I was the best ever played, in high school in Washington. Like, I don't need to do that. Like, some people gonna say yes, some people gonna say no, but I'm not gonna tell you. If you're talking about someone that played 20, 30 years ago and you're still talking about them, then obviously they were some type of factor, and that's just how I feel. And I just think like, now, and I have multiple teams. I do trainings, right? And it's always like I'm always studying, trying to get better, always working on things, trying to get better. And you got some of these parents, man, that either want to be you, want to coach a team and put together, but can't do it, try to do it, ends up falling through, or want to coach their kid and their kid ain't that good. So like there's just so many different factors, with these parents, and then trying to coach from the sideline or trying to give suggestions at practice, and you don't even have the resume, to be. I've seen it, you know what I'm saying? I've been a part of it, and those that know me, like, I don't really play around. Like when it comes to, I'll just tell you, like, nah, man, this is my program. Like, what qualifies you to do this or do that? I've had teams in my program where I've just cut the whole team because, it was, some of the parents were cool, some were dysfunctional, and some just like chaos or drama. So I think like the parents, man, like you can either make it smooth or you can make it rocky. And the thing is that when you if your kid gets the privilege to play in college, then the colleges are recruiting parents. If you're a headache parent, then your kid's not gonna go to college, right? So like I said, the parents need to just sit back. Like if I had a kid and right now and they were playing, like, I wouldn't need to talk to no coach. I wouldn't need to be at the practice yelling at the kids. Like there's nothing more disturbing when a parent wants to put a kid on your team and they're dealing with confidence issues, and then the parent comes to practice and they're doing all the yelling at the kid. Like, let me, that's why I'm in the position I'm in, you're in the position you're in. So let the kid, make a mistake. Let me coach them. You have to let your kid be coached. You can do whatever you can say whatever you got to say on the car ride home, but there shouldn't be any outbursts, at practices, at games on the sideline. There's too many kids looking in the stands at their parents, and they can't even perform because you worry about dad over there telling you you gotta hop back, you gotta follow through, you gotta do all these things, like, and you guys wasn't even no good. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you like, that's what I wish that we had. Like I wish it was a big icon on everybody's head, you know what I mean, like a cloud, and your resume, your basketball resume was up there. And then if it had zeros and you were under a certain percentage, then you couldn't even say nothing. You know what I mean? We could just put your lips on mute, for the game and for practice. You know what I mean? Because like I said, the parents can take the joy out of it, for the kid, for the team. There's some teams that won't even touch players because your parents a headache. You guys got to understand, like, if you were weak, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You just were in the era that you were weak. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not knocking you. It's just that you weren't a part of it. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, sit down. That's the easiest thing I can tell you is sit down. Like I said, it's my channel. I can say what I want, but some of y'all need to just sit the hell down and get out the way. Because like I said, you guys mess it up for the kids, okay? And you make it hard to where people don't, that's the first thing people say, oh, hey, you got what's the name over there? Oh man, his parents, man, damn, they such a headache, man. They don't even, and then parents is, you guys try to like, and you gotta understand something, let me give you some game. If you tell a secret to this parent over here, this parent is probably gonna tell someone else. And then it's gonna get back to the program director, or it's gonna get back to the coach. Instead of being like standing like standing on it firm, or standing on it, and just go talk to the person that you have an issue with, about a decision they made, or about where your kid is at in the rotation. They'll tell like 3 different secrets to 3 different people about, and then they'll talk about the people's kids to the other person. So if it's me and Ray sitting here, and then Bob sitting over there, Ray will tell Bob about me, and then Bob will tell me about, like, it just is crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy, and like I said, that it's a problem, and I don't know where it comes from, but like, in my opinion, I feel that the parent wants to live through the kid to where they didn't ever get this opportunity, and so they're taking it in a way to where, like, it's really weird. Like, you got to just take yourself out of it. You know what I mean? And then let the kid have their own path, right? Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. You know what I mean? Like, you really don't. And you have qualified people out there that are on top of programs, that played, that have knowledge, and then you want to think you can compare your resume to theirs. It's not even close. It's not even close. That's why, I mean, it's like, if your name isn't a factor in the town, in the city, like, then you got to sit down. You know what I'm saying? Like consult somebody. And that's just my advice. I'm not saying like all parents are like that, but over half, you're either super delusional, like I said, on where your kid is at, or where you think the program should be, or where you think this could happen. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've watched, and I was just watching a game, and I have my programs, and after the game, I was interested on what the chatter is about, and it was a team that I didn't know, and so I just hung out close, and I was watching, and after the game, the team had lost, so I was close to the team that lost, and it was parents chatting like, oh man, they should have did this, oh man, they should have had him in, oh, he should have did this and did that and did this. And it was just, so I was like, dang, it's not just my program. When you lose, it's, as a coach, and I'm jumping into coaching stuff right now, right? like, so I went on the parents. So now I'm going on the parents, on the coaches, are just, when you lose, people are always going to critique it. You know what I mean? In a different way. When you win, there's not a lot of critiquing going on. But when you lose, there's more, there's just more critiquing. People try to find out, well, you know, should have did this, and trying to find ways to discredit you or discredit your decision making. You know, and when you're coaching, like, you got to understand that in the best coaches adjust, I feel. Like, you can adjust during the game. That's adjusting on the fly. Like, not adjust when you get home and watch a video, which, I mean, of course, that goes in the game plan for the next game, but you also have to be able to adjust on the fly when you see something. And you got to understand that with people, you have 10, 9 kids on the team. So as a coach, I mean, you have your rotations, okay? You're thinking about, because it's a chess game. So you're thinking about, okay, what defense are they in? Okay, what defense am I gonna run right now? How long has, you know, my starter's been running? Who's got these fouls? You know, which you got staff that help you out with that too. But as a coach, you're you know, and I find myself constantly thinking in game mode. You know, first of all, I prep before the game. Okay, I don't come to the game with just nothing. I try to find film on who we're playing. And this is just AAU, right? This is just AAU. I try to find film on who we're playing. I try to watch it. I try to see their weaknesses. I try to see, you know, are they good defensively? Do they close out offensively? Do they pressure? Do they press? Do they trap? Do they, you know, how's their zone sets? Is their weak side help? Is it slow? Are they walking the ball up the floor? It is like, what offense are they running? And so, and then who's the best players? Who can shoot? Who can't? Right? Because I'm all about mismatches. If you can't shoot, I'm probably not going to guard you. Right? And so, in the course of a game, that's before the game. Going to the game, I mean, I got, you know, plays, you know, that I'm running, my defensive set, my out of bounds sets, you know, personnel, matchups, game flow. You know, you got your timeouts. I mean, you got, like, there's just so many, my mind works in so many different ways as far as the game. And then in the game, I'm obviously seeing the game from a different perspective than the player. So as a coach, I'm trying to be a step ahead as to what is going to happen, basically predicting, right? You're predicting and what you think is going to happen, the high probability of this happening. You know, if you know, players driving right, you know what you're seeing, and so, or, you know, trying to, like I said, trying to predict what they're going to do. And so in coaching, you're basically instructing. You know, it's like instructing the orchestra. You know, if you ever watch them, you know, like, okay, this is your part, this is your part, and I'm coaching the game, so I'm saying things, you know, to players. And at the same time, you got to remember, I'm in the game, and then I'm also on the bench as well, because you're looking at players playing time, you know, looking at who can help, who's going to give us a run, who's not going to fit into the rotation in this game, right? And so all these things are just quick, split second, you know, decisions that you have to make. And so all that going on, you know, and then when players come out, you know, some players want to know, hey, what did I, you know, did I do wrong, coach? Like, what happened? So, and sometimes you got to give them a little bit, hey, look, this is what you need to do next time down. And this, I mean, your assistant coach can do that, but sometimes, I mean, I'm by myself sometimes. So, yeah, it's a lot that goes into it. So you guys got to remember, the coaches, you know, mind, you know, how they work, and adjustments. And at the end of the day, people value and appreciate winning right? Winning isn't easy, and to win consistently isn't easy. So that's why these coaches get a lot of money, and that's why the ones that don't win a lot, they get replaced fast. I'm just talking about like in the league or in college, but even in AAU, parents, right? You have coaches that are directors of programs, but then you can look at the parents that are like, because you guys pay for the service, so you guys can basically be like, not an owner, but and not a decision maker, so to say, but you are, so you're an important part of it. And I wouldn't say like a GM, but you're critiqued on, winning, losing, you know, and that's fine. But as coaches, like I said, those are things that you have to like. People say winning isn't everything, and at the end of the day, what are we playing for, right? You're playing to development. You're playing to win, right? And of course they say playing to have fun. Yeah, but basketball ain't always fun, right? Training ain't always fun. Practice ain't always fun. If you want to have fun, then you probably won't be the best. It's like I said, it's a lot that goes into it, and I think that as for players, we got to understand that a lot of people just ain't putting in the work, and so I'm jumping onto the players now, right? Because we went over the parents, went over the coaches, just as far as the mindset, the mentality, things we think about. To sum it up, like the winning is important. You know what I mean? You can't lose all the time. Like winning is important, especially like in youth sports. Of course, you want to get all these kids some experience, but at the end of the day, you have to win, right? You have to win. It's just people will go other places or do other things. Nobody's going to be a part of a losing program all the time. And then as far as players, like we're not even we like they're not even putting in the work to be successful in this game. Like none of these people really know what it takes. You can ask a professional, you can ask people that have put in the work, but they really don't understand. As parents, you really don't understand what it takes, unless you've been a athlete, a collegiate athlete, I'll say. And then you got collegiate athletes, but then you got high major athletes that are in a whole different realm, right? Of, I don't know, Highline Community College, Seattle U, Seattle Pacific, and then you got Duke. Then you got USC, then you got Florida. Like those are different atmospheres. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. I'm not saying the players that at Seattle you can't play there. I'm just saying that they're different realms, right? It's a whole different process. It's a whole different setup. It's a whole different. The gear's different. The the fans, the school, the gym, the things that you get, it's like it's all different. The media is different. So, but you have to understand that these kids aren't spending enough time playing, training. The players that aren't that good are going to the gym once a day. And that's, like I said, when I say not good, it doesn't mean that I'm saying like, oh, he's saying that. No, I'm saying that there's players that aren't very good, but they're getting in the gym once a day. If you're trying, everybody wants to be special. Like these guys, these people that play and that have goals, aspirations of playing in the league, you have to do something special. You have to do something exceptional that nobody's willing to do and nobody in your class can do. Like that's got to be your mentality, especially now. You gotta go to the gym 3 times a day, at least twice, no less than twice. If you don't go to the gym twice a day, then you're basically just regular. You're just a regular person, a regular athlete. You know what I mean? Like people that have jobs and work 24/7 can go to the gym once a day. So 3 times is major. You getting in the gym 3 times a day. Twice, that's cool. Twice is yes, that's grinded. 1 time a day, every day, okay. I see that, yeah, every day, but not, oh, I'm taking Sunday off. You only going once a day, you have to go every day. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you can't make it not going to the gym, but if you're going 3 times a week, then you ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna happen. Not unless you 6'8" with a gang of athleticism and IQ. Like, so, like I said, the players that aren't good are going once a day. You know what I mean? And I feel like if you are at the 1 time a day, you can make it, but it's every day, no days off, and you getting your work in. You can make it. 2 times a day, it just gives you more chance. It gives you more of a chance, right? I can go 2 times a day and take Sundays off, right? Because you went once a day, that's 7. I went 2 times a day for 6 days, that's 12. I can take Sunday off. You got to think about it. And then, what are we working on? Like, what are we working on at the gym? Like, you know, these kids and players, and that's another topic I'll touch on when I get to basketball training, but what are you working on? Like, if you need help with something like what to work on, then just like reach out. You know what I'm saying? I Q-timebasketball, Q-time basketball at gmail.com, or at Q-timebasketball.com, Q-timebasketball.com. You can hit me there. The first one was my email, Q-timebasketball@gmail.com. Let's work on the stuff that translates. Catching and shooting on a move, one dribble pull up. Work on your handle. Work on your layup package around the baskets, putting English on the ball, spinning it high off the glass, left hand, right hand, jump stopping, playing on balance. That's still part of the game. That's still part of the game. That, like I said, that's my, advice and take on, parents, players, a little bit inside look on what the coaches, think about. And I'll touch base on that again, once I get further into the channel. Yeah, if you like, subscribe and comment below. And like I said, man, I'll reach back out to you. Thanks for your time, and signing off.